Hello, good
Hello.
morning.
Hello, feedback again.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, good morning, everyone. So the master class we rescheduled yesterday due to network issue. We are having it this morning. And our speaker is going to be joining. So we are going to be discussing on the topic or learning on the topic raising funds and pitching agribusiness solution, how to raise funds, that loan or grants, yeah, for your agritech business. So before his arrival, let me quickly talk about. So after this section, we are going to be having another section in the evening. So do well to invite your friends and colleagues that we are live already, so they can be aware. All right, just invite other people. Okay, so this is Precision Agriculture Incubation Program. This is organized by Precision Field Academy. So Precision Agriculture Incubation Program, as we all know, is designed to be a youth-centric digital agriculture capacity building program from a staple of Precision Field Academy, the classic African digital agriculture training school, causing rapid transformation in the global agriculture sector through comprehensive and expository training of youths. On the concept of precision agriculture technologies. Alright, I think. Sorry. Alright, good morning, Mr. Kenneth. Yeah, nice to have you here. I believe today is going to be better. Alright, so let me continue. Alright, so the classic African digital agriculture training school causing rapid transformation in the global agriculture sector through the comprehensive training and explosive training of youth on the concept of precision agriculture technologies and its application to solve today's pressing challenges emanating in the agricultural landscape to strengthen and stabilize the economy. So, recognizing the transformative potential of precision agriculture, these guys are making noise, please help me. So, the transformative potential of precision agriculture, there is an urgent need to equip young emerging farmers, agricultural professionals and aspiring agripreneurs who falls into the demography of youths with a need for requisite knowledge and skill to harness these technologies effectively for global exploit and opportunity. So the Precision Agriculture Incubation Program addresses this need by providing comprehensive training and exposition in the key areas such as drone technology, GIS, data science, robotics, IoT, and remote sensing. So we have 7 objectives. Number one is to close the knowledge gap, ensuring that participants have a well-detailed knowledge on the concept of precision agriculture technologies and its practice. And also we are looking at raising the next generation of agriculture remote pilots. So thirdly, we want to groom young precision agriculture leaders and stakeholders for global exploit. Number four, we want to build the capacity of youth in the aspect of technology application in agriculture. And fifth, we are looking at promoting the adoption of innovative and sustainable farming technologies that improves agricultural productivity and resource management. Number six, we want to foster entrepreneurship and encourage participants to develop technology-driven solutions for agricultural challenges. Seventh, which is the last and the objective, we are looking at creating a network of digitally empowered young agriculture professionals who can drive positive change in the agriculture industry. So the end goal of this precision agriculture incubation program boils down to this four sector. We have the capacity building, and this is what we are doing through skill enhancement and development through precision agriculture technologies, ensuring that youths are well exposed and get informed about these technologies to shape Also, we're looking at gender inclusivity, encouraging females to be able to participate in concept of digital agriculture, data-driven agriculture. Yes, also we're looking at policy advocacy. The aspect of policy advocacy is that when youths are well informed about this technology and they have the opportunity to be in the government power, they can help shape better policies that will further develop and enhance the agriculture or food production industry. And lastly is research and innovation. So this is a whole lot of it's a package, yes, that will put you through a whole lot of trainings from the aspect to theoretical to practicals, and ensuring you have a very grounded knowledge in the aspect of how this innovation works in the ecosystem. Be able to, you're also going to work on some practical trainings when we get to the on-site session, so to see that. So for the training in this edition or previous one we've been doing, we usually have virtual and online master classes, and also we have classroom lessons that goes hand in hand with the physical on-site training on the open field. Alright, so our key focus are drone technology, GIS and remote sensing, artificial intelligence and data science, robotics, internet of things, and also we have a personal and enterprise development for high-tech innovators. So this is talking about the understanding the market and developing a product that can fit into a particular market. So how do you navigate your way around it? And how do you polish yourself as a founder or an innovator in their culture in the global perspective? Like we've had various master classes from various professionals around the world, our global faculty. Alright, so without wasting much of our time, I want to bring up our speaker. So let me quickly read through his profile while I bring him up the stage. Alright. Okay, so our speaker for today, his name is Kenneth Obayuana, and he is the CEO of Agritech Digest. So Kenneth Obayuana is a creative thinker, a global thought leader, business strategist, and dynamic speaker dedicated to helping people become the best version of themselves. Passionate about youth development, he advocates for mental awakening and values reorientation among young people. He is the executive director of Positive Impact Africa, a development and performance organization committed to raising youth who makes a difference. He also serves as the managing director of Creeks Tobacco Limited, producer of Baxto dried catfish and Baxto fufu flour. In addition, it sits on the board of Eyes of Africa, the Boardroom Institute, and he is a fellow of the African Young Leaders Fellowship Program. Kenneth holds an executive MBA in leadership and management from Accra Business School and a degree in agriculture economics from the Benson Dausa University. He is also an alumnus of the Faith Foundation and a beneficiary of the Agripreneurship Alliance Scholarship to study entrepreneurship in agribusiness at the African Management Institute in Kenya. His award includes Entrepreneur of the Year 2019, Benson Dausa University Class of Elite, Young Entrepreneur of the Year 2019, the Entrepreneur Africa, and the Outstanding Leadership Award, Benson Dausa University. He was also a nominee of the SME 100 Africa 25 agricultural category in 2020. His brand has been recognized by Social Goods Award Africa and featured across multiple media platforms. Driven by the vision of using agriculture to end hunger, create wealth, and drive economic growth in Africa, Kenneth is the convener of the African Farmer Convention and the president of the African Chamber of Smallholder Farmers. Recently, he was appointed ambassador to the United Kingdom-based the awards organization. He continues to inspire as a self-development enthusiast, writer, and a sought-after conference speaker. Join me as I bring up Mr. Kenneth. Hello, good morning, Mr. Kenneth. How are you
Good
doing
morning.
today,
Can you hear
sir?
me this morning?
Yes, I can hear you. You're very loud and
It's
clear.
my
I think
Is my
yeah,
camera
the
okay?
network is. Yes, 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 yes. You are good, sir. I
Okay.
think.
Um, okay. Happy to be here today. Good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry for the technical issue we experienced yesterday. So painful I could not join to have my session as planned yesterday. Um, I would today. I'm happy we are here today, and we'll be talking about raising funds and pitching Agritech solutions. Um, there is a whole lot of stuff around the agritech space at the moment. You know, first of all, let me begin by saying I know you. I believe by now we all know that the industry is very viable because by 2050 the world population is exceeding 9 billion people, and there must be people to feed these 9 billion people because before whether we like it or not, 2050 is already here, right? And these 9 billion people they need food to survive. So the industry is really wide. Um, and agriculture must produce at least 70 more food to meet this demand of these people. And technology will be the only key enabler because yeah, whether we like it or not, we need technology because we can't do it with manpower alone. That's number one. And number two, a lot of young people are no longer interested in agriculture as we know it today. Everybody's looking for where the quick money is, where they can make the cash and go off. So every young person you see today, they are all interested in the tech space. And like I used to say, the only way for us to attract young people into agriculture again is to introduce technology to them, like what Mr. Femi Adekoye is doing today. Shout out to Mr. Femi. I'm so sorry. I needed to say send my shout out to him for the amazing work he's doing with this platform. And I don't take it lightly for inviting me every time to his platform. But we need more people like the flying farmer to begin to attract more people to the industry because what he's doing is some of the things like if you follow me, some of the things that I advocate for. We want more of him to attract more young people to the agricultural industry because without what he's doing today, a lot of people will not be interested, and that's why we say technology will be like the key enabler to produce this food. Now moving on, sorry. So I'm also using side, but just follow my thought and yeah. Let me also explain a bit. When we say agricultural technology, there's a story I used to see on on social media. Some people, of course, it's got across almost all industry, but most times it's attributed to our industry, the agricultural industry. So we see things like, let's not copy the West. This technology kind of things not working in Africa. I'm happy to see what Femi is doing. It is proving to the world that Africa is ready for technology. Young Africans are ready to embrace technology, and some of our farmers also adopt this technology. Yeah, because it's quick to say that who will embrace it? We farmers adopt technology. We young people adopt it in the agricultural industry. We Africa accept the technology, and you can see Mr. Femi is not in another. He's not in the US. He's not practicing what he's doing today in the US. He's not practicing what he's doing today in the Western world, so to say. He's practicing the same thing in Africa. Yes. Would there be would they experience maybe some for some other apps or some other technology? Maybe they might have experience network issues or bad road or yeah, there might be those things that government needs to fix or government needs to work on. But we totally saying are not open yet to technology, or we saying Africa farmers will not embrace technology, or the young Africans are not interested in technology. For me, I totally think that's not true because we see some prototype, we see some persons who have gone into this path and doing it in Africa, and we can see that yes, yeah. I'm not also saying that has it been easy for them. I can say categorically that yeah, maybe they might have experienced some challenges. They might have faced some issues in that same space, but to God be the glory, they are making progress. So if you've seen some of those articles, they can sound right, but I don't totally agree with them. I think technology will be the enabler, will be the key enabler if we want to produce more food faster way with speed. Technology is going to be like the key key enabler of that space. But let's maybe move to the next stage. As I'm going to be very fast, I'm trying to use the next 15 to 20 minutes to wrap up my session. But there's a lot to say, but don't worry, I'll try and cap everything quickly. Well, let's talk about the funding because I'm speaking of raising funds. Yeah, we also understand that one of the key challenges of this industry is how to raise funds. Where do I get funds from? How do I raise funds? We understand that that's like the major challenges. But where do you raise funds from? There are a lot of places to raise funds from. There are a lot of places to raise funds from. Um, One is grants and business competitions. So grants is like a free money that you don't work for. You just you get the funds. Um, Business competitions, like that one is like more like competitions. There's a lot of grants where you can apply for, and and it's good when you are starting. You test run with grants. You test the knowledge with grants, right? It's really really good to use grants to test run it because that's like free money for you. It's also good to do business competitions. So business competitions are like competitions where you go and pitch. It's quite different from grants. Um, so I'm trying to look for example of a business competition now that I can use. So, but it's quite different from grants. No, so grants is like Tunolumelu's one, because Tunolumelu's Foundations offers some grants. Why business competition? Most likely times you have to pitch to an investors. They have to sit down and hear you and you win, and it's like a free money like grants anyway, but you have to compete for that. And then there's an angel investors. So angel investors like an angel they got assets to you to invest in your business, right? Venture capital is another one. So venture capital are like they are firms that kind of give you money. I'm going to touch all of them a bit. Don't worry. Venture capital are firms, and another thing I will also say, even though you don't understand all the things I'm teaching, just learn them. Because I think about 5, 6 years ago, when I started talking about fundraising or learning about the fundraising landscape, I don't understand it as deep as I understand it. But however, I was learning the terminology. I was learning everything about that space. And meanwhile, I also remember a story. Let me also chip in this one quickly. The first time I heard about angel investor, I fought that thought. Like, no way, it's not possible for someone to just hear my idea and give me money. I mean, it was not my fault. It was because of where I was coming from. And I actually heard it from a friend of mine, Nititutu. Nititutu is now with Seller. Yeah, Newton Tutu is with Seller. Then we were in school in I school in University. So when you school then and he just walk up to me and like, I like what you do because I started doing business way back in school, like in my 20 level. I've launched my first boutique business, and then raised capital, moved to catfish farm in school. So I was so entrepreneurial in school, and I was like, I love what you are doing, Kenneth. We were friends, and he acknowledged what I was doing, and I was like, he has some ideas, and I'm like, no, if you have an idea, jump into it. He was like, no, he's looking for an angel investor. Like, is there investor? Somebody, so there's somebody in this world that just dashing money. Anyways, there are really people like that. They give you money, but most times they take equity from the business. They don't like they're giving you free money, but they take equity from that business. So you need to understand when to raise it. Does your business need it? Right? There's venture capital. So venture capital is like a firm. They also take money from your business, right? So equity from your business. So there are some like impact investors who are especially interested in some agri business. There's crowdfunding and cooperatives. So crowdfunding is like we use platforms like I've known a guy in Nigeria. I've done crowdfunding from his rice business, and he raised a lot of money for his crowdfunding. I've done crowdfunding as well. So I've raised grants before. I've done business competition. I've not done angel investment and venture capital, but I'm currently learning on that space, right? Trying to do something there. But of course, you also need to know that does your business need it? So you need to understand first of all which of these assets, which of these venture, which of these aspects do I need to use to raise funds for my business? It's not all of them you need to use, right? There's crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is like free money. People just putting money. So we have, I think one of the biggest platform is GoFundMe. So I have done GoFundMe too. I did crowdfunding, and it's good if you understand how to raise funds. So I did crowdfunding for my business for my when I was going to do masters in the UK, and I raised quite good money. Blessed Nigerians who supported me on that journey. And there's a friend of mine who were my friend who saw me did mine and asked me. I had a call with him. I just told him how I did mine. I told her how I did mine, and that lady raised 10 years because What I did in my crowdfunding, when I was doing crowdfunding, I just went on YouTube, learn everything. People have raised money, read everything about them, learn everything about it on YouTube, and I kind of messed it up. So she called me. I was like, "Oh, I want to go to UK and do my master's program. I saw you did your you raised funds from GoFundMe." I told him it was hard work, and but I just told him some of the tips, what to do, what's the secret of it, and everything. And she went ahead and did it, and she raised like times five, like she raised like maybe so let me see, if I raised 2 million, she raised up to like 8 million. You know, so I'm not saying that's what I raised. I just give an example, and I'm not saying she raised 8 million. So I just give an example, like she raised time S of what I did, and she came into UK earlier this year, and I was so happy for her. You know, it's been a while. Maybe I will need to also reach out to know what's up with that. But yeah, people have raised money from crowdfunding, and don't. The first thing you need to, if you are using any of the platform, the first thing you need to know is destroy the mindset that it's not possible. Just see that it's possible. Because I talked about this because in crowdfunding, that it's not possible, it's not business. So they give up on it. It is hard, but if you are determined, you want to work, boom, you go for it. If I have time, I touch about crowdfunding, but crowdfunding is not like the really good way to. It's really, really, really difficult. So if there's time, I might just touch one or two things about that. But there's a secret to it to go and just a straightforward thing. Cooperatives, if you're in a cooperative, so yeah, there are agricultural cooperatives. I used to know of one of the biggest agricultural cooperatives. I don't know if it's still existing. I myself have tried to set up one or two. So yeah, then we talked about some other farmers doing their president at the time. I've tried to set up one or two cooperatives in Nigeria back then in agriculture. So there are these cooperatives that they share dividends, they support themselves, and if you have those kind of places, you can take some loan out of the cooperatives to pump into your agribusiness, which is also good. Then we have corporate partnership, corporate partnerships like agribusiness firm backing startups. So yeah, I don't know if there's any a lot of them in Nigeria, but in the UK we have Agritech we have Farm 491, we have the UK Agritech Center. The UK Architect Center actually came in like just three company machine together to become the UK Architect Center. The kind of their cooperative partnerships that back agritech startups, strictly agritech startups. But these ones I just called strictly agritech startups at the back. But I don't know of any in Nigeria. I don't kind of any that back strictly agritech startups. You know, I'm trying to think of any in Nigeria. But CCLB is trying to see what they could do to also um, balance it. But CCLB is not suitable for architect startup. But that's why we said they can also start supporting architect startup, because when I was in Kenya, I hosted my event with them, and we talked about those things that they can begin to back up startups. I mean, the backup startups generally, but I tend to seek to have a specific tailored backup events that back startups, architect startups. Anyway, um, okay, there's bootstrapping. So bootstrapping is when you do it. Yeah, I needed to mention bootstrapping because I think for me the best way to start funding is, first of all, the first person to invest in your business should be you, right? And the second person to invest in your business should be your family members and your friends. So because if you can't invest in your company, then why will I invest in your company? Right? There's no way for me to invest in your company. So the first person that I think should invest is you. The second person should be your friends and family. So when I was doing all my business I've ever done, it was myself first. My elder brother was it's mostly my second investor. Of course, families. So those are my families, and then friends. Yeah, pretty much. I think God have just blessed me in terms of raising funds anyway. Um, um so you need to invest first, then the family and friends second, and then before you think of any of the other ways. But I think the third should be grants. After you, friends and family, the third person should be grants. Grants, consider business competition, consider Tunolu Melu. They have a list of architect. I don't know, it's not close by now. A list of architect companies where you can go and apply for. But I know of Tunolu Melu. I know of coming up to my head now is Tunolu Melu is there. I know of Tunolu Melu. I know of um ah well they just skipped my head, but I know of the new Melu. But those are like easy guns. But there are also platform I think you should be registering. So please like go on Oh, why is all these things just keeping my head? And I don't really have time to start researching, searching for those names right straight away. But I really don't want to focus on grant in this training. I want to focus on a bit on venture capital and other ways because I think last time when I came, I talked about grants, I talked about grants and business competition. But there are platforms where you just, for example, you just get instant um, funding. Give me a minute. Let me just collapse some of my material. There are places where you just go and yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can quickly get some. Let me see if I can get some places you can just go and every day you just receiving grants. Pam 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 pam. Like constant grants will be coming. Like they'll be alerting you. Like if any platform is going on grants, they'll just be informing you. Um. Oh, come on. Okay, let's see. Give me a minute. Let me see. Mm, let me see. But yeah, but I'll if uh, uh, sorry. Ah, I'm just trying to search for my materials where I kept those things. There's a plat I just kept those things. Okay, I'll just call general grant that you could just look at for. I'm not seeing this one that you can get a lot from. Yeah, but there's Tunolumelu. For all of them, I'll be calling are just Agritech grants. But this was not what I was looking for. Um, Agri, okay. Wait, I will get this one I'm looking for. But yeah, but let me call some of Agritech grants I can lay my hands on at the moment that's close by. So you can look at for Tunulumelu, right? You can look at for Go Getters Africa Agripreneur Prize. You can look at for Youth Adapt Challenge. So Youth Adapt Challenge, those ones are more like business competition. Even Go Getters Agripreneur, I think is a business competition. Yeah, those are competitions. Those are not just grants. Like Tunulumelu. So Tunulumelu don't compete for it. You know. Yeah. So Tondumelu is like a pure grant. Gain micro grants. That's under is a grant there. You can see Beach Agri Challenge in Nigeria. Yeah. Then you can see you can like I talked about co-funding grants. Okay. Let me say uh yes, opportunity desk is what I'm looking for. So there's opportunity for Africa. There's opportunity desk. So it's not just only opportunity they post there, they post grants and all that there. Opportunity grants, opportunity desk, opportunity for Africa is where you go and you start seeing opportunity grant opportunities. Opportunity for Africa, opportunity for grants, NGO funding, something like that. But these two they just keep sending it to you. And then there is this there's this other guy again that you should also follow. You should also be aware of. Let me see if I'll see that one too. Opportunity grants. It's a good place. Like it's really good. Um, um, there is this is my friend. Those ones are I'm forgetting their names, but let's just progress. Let's just progress. Let's just progress. All right. Let me just progress. Hmm. Give me a minute, sorry guys. So guys, as I was saying, um uh, okay, let's forget. So you can check up for those platforms I just mentioned now, right? Go look them at. But let me quickly on. Um, at what point? How do you know? You need to know the platform that you are using. So, for example, I want to Agritech that gets for almost 2 years now. I've not done GoFundMe. I've not done any of these platforms. The one I've been doing is bootstrapping, investing with my personal money, investing with. I've never used friends and family cash. It's just purely my money. But you can do bootstrapping. So what I've been doing with Architect that is has been more of bootstrapping. We have about like 25 staffs that work on Architect Digest. But all I've been doing has been more of bootstrapping, and I still want to bootstrap, right? I still want to bootstrap. But let me touch about, because I said I was going to touch about sorry, I said I was going to touch about um investors a bit, like angel investors and equity. That was like my core focus for this training today. I didn't want to, because last year when I came, I think I touched about Agritech. I touched about grants a lot, so I didn't want to dwell so much on grants today. Let me touch other part. Maybe next year I can touch other one again if I'm here again. All right, but the type of investment that you also need to look at. I talk about personal savings, friends and family. So there's what we call, if you're talking about investors and angel investors and venture capital, you now begin to look at equity fundings. So equity fundings, debt fundings. I've touched about grants. So these are other investment parts. Look at debt fundings, equity fundings, but teach to prepare for a funding round in, if you are considering venture capital. But for you to consider venture capital, know very well venture capital, they will need equity, and most times they make their money from when you exit. So so these days they kind of put pressure on people to quickly sell, raise capital, quickly sell and get their fund back, because that's where they get their money when they exit. All right, so this is the kind of force people to sell quickly. So you need to be sure if that's the path you want to use. And then same thing for you need to be sure if that's the path you want to use. Same thing for angel investors. They kind of work together. So angel investors is like an individual. Venture capital is a firm. I'm currently working on setting up my own venture capital that will kind of focus on investing in the agritech space as God will permit. Right? Sorry, as God will permit. But these are some few things you need to have if you're considering these aspects. There are some few things you need to have if that's what you are looking at doing. Um yeah, you need to have one, you need to have like your story ready. You need to have like your um you need to have like your what's it called now? You need to have a storytelling skills or PR. Like you need to be out there. So for example, let me give an example of Mr. Femi. If Mr. Femi wants to raise venture capital today, he has been posting on LinkedIn, on Twitter. He has built up traction there. That's the PRO. So sometimes when we hear PRO, are looking like paying big amount of money to a media company, to like a BBC. That social media already is PRO. So for example, now I've been doing my work with Agritech Digest. I know of investors that have reached out to me via LinkedIn, right? Because they've been seeing the traction. So you must tell your stories on social media, or if you have a lot of big money, you can do traditional media like all this BBC and the rest. But that's a lot of money anyway. So, but the idea is that be out there, let them see you and know what you are doing. That's one. Number two is you must build what we call investors funnel builder. There's no time. I will have shown you what investors funnel builder is like a list, or it can be like an Excel sheet full of investors list, their names, their phone numbers. I have like 2 investors funnel builder. I didn't build it. Mentors build it and send it to me. So I didn't build it. So I have like top my mentors who have sent me their investors funnel build in case I want to raise funds. So one of them is, shout out to Mr. Yinka from Farm Cardi, the founder of Farm Cardi. So he sent me one. Of course, it was on his training, and now only mentored us at the time. And he sent us one. Mr. Mene Blessing sent me one. Mr. Mene Blessing sent me his own because I paid for his training, his Grandmaster class. So I paid her like twelve his train 2 times, and I think it was one of them. He was like, okay, we'll just release this list, and he released it to me. So so now I have like two different lists. So if I want to build my own, I could merge those two together and then keep adding up, because even I don't even think I've ever called anybody from their list or reached out to anybody from their list, right? But I just have it in one corner. In fact, most of my investors that I have as friends, they are more of my own personal people, not from those two lists I just mentioned. So if those ones I have now on my own, I started adding it to my own list. But I've not had to raise funds. So because of my event, Agritech Connect, I bring investors and funders. So my own list is strictly to more of agriculture because of that event. Though I've not raised funds with it, but it's good, just like I said in the beginning, just have this knowledge. And then we have what we call data room. You need to have your own data room. So your data room will be like everything that has to do with your business in one, be like on one spreadsheet. Everything has to do with your, so that like your data room is like every data that has to do with your home, how much profit you've made, how much when is your, yeah, you have information, data about the company will be that room. Then investors updates, you keep updating your investors, the ones you want to, so I want to raise funds from this man. Let's say you want to raise funds from me. Like I just said, I'm working on having my own VC firm in the future, right? So now you've heard that thing, and you want me to, like, if we finally launch, you want me to be like the first person that will target. And like I like Agritech. I'm using myself as an example. I'm not saying you should do this. So like I'm so inclined with Agritech company, right? Whatever you are doing on social media, try and put my eyes on it. I mean, that's so when we talk about investors updates. Yeah, investors update could also be the ones that you've raised from, always update them. All right. But the one you not also raise from, always update them virtually. So if, for example, that's what I'm talking about. So you've not raised for me. So if the one you've raised for, you need to update them, what's happening in the company and everything. But the one you've not raised for, how do you update them? So you know that this guy is into agritech incline. What do you do? When you post on social media, tag him to see it. Tag him to see it. Always make sure you see what you are doing. So when I say you want to raise funds, I've seen that this guy has built traction over the years. He has been seeing this thing he has been doing. If that sometimes they could even be done that when I reach out to you, or when you reach out to them, to be easy to say, okay, I've been seeing what you've been doing. Take money. You have to have your pitch deck. Which I plan of touching. You have to have your pitch deck. So even if you are raising from bank loan, I didn't mention loan as a way because that's like the lowest ways to raise funds. From bank. If you want to raise from, you need to have business plan. You need to have pitch deck. Even if you are raising grants or business competition or from investors or from major investors or venture capital, you need to have pitch deck. You need to have demo. Product demo is like the MVP of what you've built. You need to have your 30 seconds, 1 minute or 3 minutes and 5 minutes pitch deck. So I call that one elevator pitch. So imagine you see Big Gate on an elevator. You have just 1 minute. What are you going to say? So we used to craft those things ahead of time. We memorize it. I have the one for Basto when I was in dry catfish. I have the one I used. It's just in my head, but I wrote it down, memorized it. So it's called elevator pitch. So elevator pitch is like a storytelling of what you do, contain certain informations. You say it in a way, in a short possible time. It could be like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, quickly before you come down from the elevator with Big Gate. So it's picture like if you have 18 minutes with Big Gate, what are you going to quickly pitch your story to him in a way that if you hear it, he will release money for you. So you have to have those things ready. Those are things you need to have handy before you start considering raising venture capital. However, like I said, for venture capital, you need to be sure if that's the path to go. My time is up already, but there's a whole lot to quickly share. There's so much I have to touch. I really wanted to dwell so much on VC firm and all that for you guys. I had to focus on them, where to get them from, But let me just talk about crafting a winning pitching deck. Your pitch deck must have a problem statement. You must show the cultural pain points that you are trying to solve. It could be maybe post-harvest losses, inefficiency, irrigation, market access. It could be, you have a problem you are trying to solve. And that same problem, you be the one that is creating that same solution for that problem. Be the one creating the solution for the problem. So present your Agritech innovation clearly, and how it's going to solve that problem better than the existing method they've been using. Have a market opportunity. So what's the market size That's the size of the market you're trying to serve. Demonstrate demand, the size of the market, and the potentials for growth in that market, right? Um, Impact. What's the impact? Is it emphasize the food security or farm income or sustainable benefits? Your business model. How are you going to generate funds from this business? And who are the team that will execute this thing? Then how do you ask? Be clear on how much fund you need. Now, okay, sorry, I don't know what happened to my network, but I need to quickly wrap up now and go. But yeah, I was saying have a team. Why you and your team can be the one that will deliver on it. Yeah, so that's it. I need to quickly go now. So tip for persuasive, I would have touched. There's so much I needed to touch, but there's no time again. I need to go. I have other quick commitment for the day. Yeah. So we enforce.
Oh, sorry. I think the network is misbehaving. So, like our speaker said, you just had to quickly join us this morning. You had other engagements. This class was supposed to have been, done yesterday, well, due to the fact that network issue and all of that. So, I believe you've learned one or two things from this section so far, apart from the discussion on how to raise funds, what are the things you should do as regarding raising fund, either going through the grants, business pitching competition, crowdfunding, getting funds from venture capitalists or angel investors. Yes, it's because of the fact that it doesn't really have the time this morning, so well, we just had to reschedule till this morning and also uh, yes. So we've got come to the end of this meeting, so we won't be able to entertain questions anyway, and because of the fact that I've not even been able to see any question so far from the discussion, but I believe if you stay committed to the teaching from start to finish, you should be able to gain one or two things as regarding how to raise funds for agribusiness. You mentioned that in the business plan, you should have a solid business plan, and in your pitch deck, you should have a very solid problem you are solving that is very significant, that also has a market for it. So these things are very, very crucial. If you are going to compel or drive the interest of any investor or any venture capitalist who wants to fund you, who have interest in your idea, um, your problem must be very significant enough and it must have a huge market. These are part of the things they considered that actually makes them to believe that there's a future in where you are heading towards. So these things are very, very crucial and critical to the progress. All right, so we have one more session in the evening time, and it's going to be a fireside conversation from. We have three speakers already, so information will also be shared across so that we can prepare ahead of time. So we will be here live again 4 p.m. GMT plus one, and that's going to be the final virtual masterclass for this cohort 3. It's it's really exciting to know that we've been able to come this far, and it's really great to see that we showed commitment. So for the on-site selection, the forms that are being sent out, yeah, do well to fill them so we can shortlist for those who are found eligible. However, not everybody will be selected for on-site. If it doesn't meet the requirement, sincerely, there's nothing we can do to it. So beyond, we're actually looking at people that we can believe in, like we can also vouch for. There are certain people here, I won't want to mention name, but uh, even when I sleep, I can see them in my dream, because when it comes to attendance, attentiveness, commenting, like automatically they've created that into my subconscious, and you don't know who is watching. So I don't want to mention names. I know the people I'm talking about, and I believe they should know themselves too. Yeah, if they so, that's just what I would say. All right, thank you everyone. So I'm gonna be ending the stream now. So we'll be here 4 o'clock today, the final and the last class for this cohort. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, from day one to this moment, I choose your commitment and also your effort in ensuring you upskill and gain better knowledge. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Hello?
All right. Mistaken. Hello. Hello. Okay.
Yeah, can you see me?
I think. Yes. Yes. I can hear you. I can see. I can see
Okay.
you.
So let's quickly wrap up. Well, I was already done. My network is misbehaving. Well, any questions for me?
I don't really have any question from here. You don't have
I'm so
questions
sorry,
from
my network
here.
is just messing up.
Yes, yes. I thought you finally gone to attend to what you want to do, but no
No,
problem.
no, no. I needed to
You don't have
quickly.
any question. All right. In the absence of question, can you just maybe share like a closing remark with our audience from your hand, or like an encouragement to them as we close
Okay,
this meeting? All right.
okay. A closing remark. First of all, I want to say sorry for the network glitches that I've experienced, but I wanted to really do this. I hope you've learned one or two things. But however, like I've said, um, when raising funds, your first target is not to go and reach to angel investors or venture capital. No, that should not be your first move. That should be your first move. Should be bootstrapping. How do I do it myself? Where do I raise it for myself? Those should be like your last options, and with tenacity, with resilience, you can do this thing. You can build your business from scratch and take it to any level you want to take it to. So these are like my last few remarks. I'm waiting for every one of you. I hope to see you at the other side of life where we can both celebrate ourselves. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I hope whenever I'm invited next time, we will not experience these technical issues we've had since yesterday. Thank you very much. Hello.
I think I'm muted. All right. I said thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for the honor you bestowed onto us. We sincerely appreciate this, and it's a privilege we don't take for granted. I believe our audience have learned so much from your session. However, I think some questions are coming in now, but we might not be able to get that. So you can go on LinkedIn. His name is Uncle
Kenneth
Otoba.
Obayoana.
Yes, on LinkedIn. The way the name is on the flyer, just type it on
Can,
LinkedIn.
can,
You can
can,
connect with him
can,
easily.
sorry. Can we just take one or two questions? What are the questions coming? Let me see.
Okay, okay, okay. This person is asking, please, how can someone go about becoming an agricultural investor? Like maybe, I think that's the question I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. If depend on how much you have, but all those architect, all those venture capital I was talking about is an investor. So the investor doesn't want to manage the money. He doesn't know how to manage the money. He will just put the money in a venture capital to invest. I think that's like the best way to go about it. But I mean, the other things we could do with in terms of investing in the agritech space, but um, there are several other things you can do in terms of investing in the architect space. But one of them is the firm I just mentioned, venture capital firm. Outside of venture capital firm, the agri business commodity that I've been advocating for, where you can go and trade instead of trade with forex. You go and trade in those platforms. Those are the ones I also recommend. Yes. Okay. Those are the ones I can recommend. But in absence of no more questions, I think I
Yeah, we
will
have
not
one
take my
more
leave.
question. I said we take
Okay.
this as the last question. Yes,
Okay.
the person is asking: is there a feasibility plan put forward by the investors to know if there is a potential in the pitch to put forward to them?
Check the message.
Explain it very well.
Um, um, Yes, they don't. Investors does not have any. They don't have those things. But what they do is they scat. So there's what they call they scat for your ideas. They look at the idea. So it's you that have those profitability. When you have it, you come and they will check how profitable is this business you want to invest in. They'll look at is you that have your own business feasibility. You do your feasibility. You do your business plan or your pitch deck. But they all need to look at it. Is it profitable? How profitable is it going to be? They understand. They are the ones that now look how profitable is this business going to be. Um, they look at the profitable, what time is it going to break even, what's the revenue model. They just check all those things. Does it have the market? What's the market size? How big is the market? What's the problem? How many people are facing this problem that you said you want to solve? So if you solve it, they do all those things to calculate to say, oh, it's viable enough. This business is a viable business, or it's profitable enough. And then it has to be profitable. It's not like NGO. They're not NGO. That's why they're not giving grants. So it has to be profitable. And so let me say this one. Investors look at for profit, but evaluators, they look at for impact. So if you are going for grants, focus on impact. If you are going for investors, focus on profitability. They look at how viable it is and how profit it is. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for providing answers to that question. So, at this point, I won't be able to take more questions because I have to leave him now.
Yeah, I'm
So,
so sorry,
thanks
guys,
for
that
taking.
I cannot take more questions. I just want to try and see if I can take those two questions, but fine.
Yes, yes,
Thank you for your
yes.
time.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming, sir. It's
All
such a
right.
great pleasure to have you. Thank you. Bye for now.
All
All
right,
right,
now, bye, everyone.
finally come to the end of this class, and you can connect with him on LinkedIn at Kenneth Obayuana. So you can ask him further questions. I think he'll be open to helping you or sharing more insights with you. All right, thank you, everyone. Bye. We're in the stream now.